Have you found yourself, or someone you love, slowing down with age, walking less, avoiding stairs, or skipping that daily stroll? Maybe you notice you're taking the elevator instead of the stairs, or that evening walk around the block has turned into watching the sunset from your porch. Perhaps your knees ache a little more than they used to, or you find yourself choosing the closer parking spot without even thinking about it. It might seem like just another part of getting older. But what if walking less is your body's way of asking for help? What if it's not resignation, but simply a signal that it's time to adapt, to find new ways to stay strong and vibrant? You see, walking less doesn't have to mean living less. It doesn't have to mean losing your independence or feeling like you're giving up on the active life you've always known. In this video, you'll discover 5 powerful things you can do instead of walking that still keep your body strong, your mind active, and your independence intact, especially if you're 60, 70, or 80 and beyond. These aren't complicated exercises or expensive equipment. They're simple, practical strategies that you can start using today, right in your own home, with things you already have around you. Type "still going strong" in the comments if you're determined to age with strength and dignity. And if you're new here, subscribe to Elder Wisdom, where we talk all things healthy aging and practical wisdom for later life. Because here's what I believe: every stage of life has its own kind of strength, its own kind of beauty, and its own opportunities to thrive. Number 1, chair exercises that build strength. Let me tell you about Mrs. Thompson. She's 73, and for 20 years, she took a morning walk around her neighborhood. Rain or shine, you'd see her out there at 7 a.m. sharp, waving to neighbors, stopping to pet the occasional dog. But then arthritis crept into her knees and hips, making each step feel like she was walking on broken glass. The woman who once climbed mountains in her 50s suddenly found herself wincing at the thought of walking to her mailbox. But Mrs. Thompson didn't give up. She found a solution that changed everything: seated leg lifts and resistance band stretches right there in her living room. Every morning at 7 a.m., she'd sit in her favorite chair by the window and do her routine. 15 minutes of purposeful movement that kept her muscles engaged and her spirit lifted. Here's why this matters so much. Walking helps circulation and balance, but chair exercises can offer similar benefits without putting pressure on those tender knees or hips. When you lift your legs while seated, you're working the same muscle groups that keep you stable when you stand. When you do arm raises with light weights or resistance bands, you're maintaining the upper body strength that helps you carry groceries, reach for things on shelves, and yes, even catch yourself if you stumble. People assume sitting means stagnation, but it doesn't have to. Your chair can become your gym, your sanctuary of strength. The key is intentional movement, not just sitting and hoping for the best. Here's what you can try. Spend 15 minutes each morning doing seated leg extensions, arm raises, or light weights. Start with soup cans if you don't have weights. Lift your knees toward your chest. Extend your legs out straight. Roll your shoulders, stretch your arms overhead. Make it a ritual, something you look forward to rather than something you have to do. But staying still too long can mess with your circulation, and that's where the next tip comes in. Number 2, gentle stretching and balance routines. At 75, Ron had always been steady on his feet. He was the guy who changed his own light bulbs, who never needed help reaching the top shelf. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, he bent down to pick up a dropped remote control and lost his balance completely. The fall wasn't serious, just a bruised ego and a sore shoulder, but it scared him more than he wanted to admit. That's when Ron decided to start each day with a 5-minute stretch and balance routine. Nothing fancy, nothing that required special equipment, just gentle movements that reminded his body how to stay centered, how to respond when gravity tried to pull him off course. And you know what? He hasn't fallen since. Not once in 2 years. When you walk less, your joints tighten and your balance weakens. It's like a car that sits in the garage too long. Everything gets a little rusty, a little less responsive. But here's the thing. You can oil those joints and tune up that balance system with just a few minutes of attention each day. There's this misconception that stretching is only for athletes, for people in yoga pants and fancy studios. Not true. Stretching is for anyone who wants to keep moving through life with grace and confidence. It's for anyone who wants to bend down to tie their shoes without thinking twice, who wants to reach for something without wondering if they'll be able to straighten back up. Focus on ankle rolls. They keep the blood flowing and prevent that stiff, shuffling walk. Do shoulder circles to keep your upper body loose and responsive. Try standing leg lifts while holding onto the back of a chair or the kitchen counter. Even marching in place for 30 seconds can remind your balance system that it still has work to do. The beauty of these movements is that they don't require you to go anywhere or wear special clothes. You can do them in your pajamas in your living room while your coffee is brewing. Make them part of your morning routine, like brushing your teeth or checking the weather. Now, your body's only half the story. What about the mind? 3. Brain engagement through active hobbies. Maria had been taking evening walks for as long as anyone could remember. She'd stroll through her neighborhood, thinking through her day, planning tomorrow, just enjoying the rhythm of her footsteps on the pavement. But at 78, those walks became more challenging. Her energy wasn't what it used to be, and the uneven sidewalks made her nervous. So Maria took up gardening instead. Not the kind of gardening that requires hours on your knees or heavy lifting, but container gardening on her patio. She planted herbs in colorful pots, tended to small flowers, watched tomatoes grow from tiny seedlings to plants heavy with fruit. And she told me something beautiful. It made me feel alive again. My hands were busy, my mind was engaged, and I was creating something beautiful. Less walking often means less stimulation for the brain. When we're not out in the world as much, when we're not encountering new sights and sounds and challenges, our minds can start to feel a little foggy, a little disconnected. But hobbies like gardening, painting, puzzles, or music keep the brain active and engaged in ways that are just as valuable as physical exercise. There's this dangerous misconception that mental decline is just natural, that it's something we have to accept as we age. But stimulation, the right kind of mental challenge and engagement, can slow or even reverse that decline. Your brain is remarkably adaptable, even in your 70s and 80s and beyond. It's looking for reasons to stay sharp, and an engaging hobby gives it exactly that. Pick one creative or memory-boosting activity and commit to it for just 15 to 30 minutes a day. It could be crossword puzzles while you have your morning coffee, sketching what you see outside your window, learning a few chords on an old guitar that's been gathering dust, or even organizing and writing captions for old family photos. The key is regularity and engagement, something that makes you think, something that brings you joy. Speaking of stimulation, did you know that something as simple as breathing deeply can actually improve circulation and brain function? Number 4. Daily breathing and circulation boosting techniques. George's doctor had been telling him for months to move more, to get his blood flowing, to do something about his circulation. But George's knees weren't cooperating, and his energy levels made even short walks feel overwhelming. He felt stuck, frustrated, like his body was betraying him. Then he discovered something surprisingly powerful. Deep breathing combined with gentle movements he could do right from his recliner. While watching his evening news, George started practicing deep breathing exercises and doing gentle toe taps, ankle circles, and calf raises. Nothing dramatic, nothing that required him to change his routine or buy special equipment. just intentional breathing and small movements that got his blood moving. 3 months later, his blood pressure had improved, and he felt more energetic than he had in years. His doctor was impressed, but George wasn't surprised. He could feel the difference in his body, the way his mind felt clearer, the way he slept better at night. Walking helps the heart and lungs work efficiently, but deep breathing and gentle circulation-boosting movements can provide similar benefits. When you breathe deeply and intentionally, you're giving your heart a gentle workout. When you flex your feet and rotate your ankles, you're helping blood flow back up to your heart. It's like giving your circulatory system a gentle massage from the inside out. There's a misconception that breathing exercises are just for people who do yoga, that they're somehow too exotic or complicated for regular folks. Not true. They're for everyone who wants to feel better, think clearer, and sleep more soundly. Breathing is something you do thousands of times a day anyway. Why not make some of those breaths count? Try this simple technique. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 4 seconds. Then exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle for 5 minutes while you're watching TV, sitting at your kitchen table, or even lying in bed before you fall asleep. While you're doing this, gently flex your feet, roll your ankles, or tap your toes. You're combining breath work with gentle movement, and the result is better circulation, lower stress, and a more alert mind. And now here's the most overlooked movement booster, one you probably haven't even thought of as exercise. 5. Daily purposeful movement. Household tasks count. Doris is 82, and when people ask her about exercise, she always says the same thing. I don't walk much anymore, but I still do laundry, cook breakfast, and water my plants. That keeps me moving. And you know what? She's absolutely right. Doris understands something that many people miss. Not all movement has to be formal exercise. When she carries her laundry basket from the bedroom to the washing machine, she's working her arms, her core, her legs. When she stands at the stove stirring soup, she's practicing balance and coordination. When she reaches up to water the hanging plants on her porch, she's stretching and strengthening muscles that keep her functional and independent. Purposeful, meaningful movement, the kind that accomplishes something you need to do anyway, still keeps muscles and joints engaged. It's movement with a purpose beyond just moving, and that makes it sustainable, practical, and satisfying in ways that formal exercise sometimes isn't. There's this misconception that if you're not at the gym or on a formal walk, you're not really moving, you're not really exercising. False. Every time you get up to answer the phone instead of letting it ring, every time you walk to the kitchen to get a glass of water instead of asking someone else to bring it, every time you choose to do something yourself instead of avoiding it, that's meaningful movement. Here's a simple strategy. Break your daily tasks into short movement bursts throughout the day. Instead of doing all your household tasks at once and then sitting for hours, spread them out. Do 5 minutes of light cleaning every hour. Put away a few things, wipe down a counter, organize a drawer. It adds up, and it keeps you moving regularly without feeling overwhelming. Make your daily tasks work for you. When you're brushing your teeth, try standing on one foot for balance practice. When you're waiting for your coffee to brew, do a few gentle stretches. When you're talking on the phone, walk around your house or do some simple exercises. Turn routine activities into opportunities for movement, and suddenly you're staying active without adding anything new to your schedule. So what does all this mean for you or someone you care about who's walking less? Watching a loved one slow down can be scary. I know because I've been there, and I know many of you have too. You might feel helpless, worried, or unsure what to do. You see someone you care about avoiding activities they used to love, choosing the easier path, moving more carefully through the world. And part of you wonders, is this just how it has to be? Is this what aging looks like? Maybe you're the one who's slowing down and you're feeling frustrated with your own body. Maybe you're mourning the person you used to be, the walks you used to take, the activities that once felt effortless. Maybe you're wondering if your best days are behind you, if independence is something that slowly slips away, no matter what you do. But here's what I want you to understand. Walking less doesn't mean giving up. It's not a surrender or a defeat. It's a sign to shift gears, to do things differently, not to do nothing. It's your body asking for adaptation, not resignation. It's an invitation to discover new ways of staying strong, staying engaged, staying fully alive. Think about it this way. Throughout your life, you've adapted to countless changes. You learned to drive when horses were no longer practical. You figured out computers when the world went digital. You've navigated career changes, family changes, health changes. This is just another adaptation, another opportunity to show your resilience and creativity. Choose one of these 5 things and start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel more motivated. Today. Even the smallest action can change how tomorrow feels. 1 set of seated leg lifts, 1 5-minute stretching session, 1 breathing exercise while you watch the evening news, 1 purposeful walk to your mailbox instead of asking someone else to get the mail. You or your loved one can still stay strong, still stay independent, still stay you. The essence of who you are, your wisdom, your humor, your caring heart, your unique perspective on the world, none of that changes because you're walking less. What changes is how you move through the world, and that's something you have more control over than you might think. So if walking less has become part of your routine, don't panic. Don't see it as the beginning of the end. See it as the beginning of something new. Try these alternatives. Chair exercises that build strength from the comfort of your favorite seat. Daily stretches and balance routines that keep you steady and confident. Brain-boosting hobbies that keep your mind sharp and engaged. Deep breathing and circulation techniques that energize your whole system. And everyday movement that turns ordinary tasks into opportunities for staying active. Which of these do you already do? Or which one are you going to try today? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories, your successes, your questions, and even your struggles. We're all in this journey of aging together, and there's so much we can learn from each other. Maybe you've discovered your own creative ways to stay active without walking long distances. Maybe you have a story like Mrs. Thompson's or Ron's or Maria's. Maybe you're caring for someone who's struggling with these changes. Share your experience. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If you found even one helpful idea in this video, consider subscribing to Elder Wisdom. We're building a community where aging isn't feared. It's embraced with grace. We talk about the real challenges of getting older, but we also celebrate the wisdom, the resilience, and the opportunities that come with each passing year. We believe that every stage of life has its own gifts, its own possibilities for growth and joy and contribution. This isn't about pretending that aging is easy or that there aren't real challenges to navigate. It's about approaching those challenges with creativity, hope, and the understanding that you have more options than you might realize. It's about supporting each other through the changes and celebrating the victories, no matter how small they might seem to others. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of this community. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Whether you're 60 or 70 or 80 or beyond, whether you're dealing with these changes yourself or supporting someone else through them, you're part of a community of people who understand, who care, and who believe that life can be rich and meaningful at every stage. Stay strong, stay active in your own way, and I'll see you next time here on Elder Wisdom, where we prove every day that the best years don't have to be behind us. They can be right now, and they can be ahead of us too.